So apparently we have a problem with Annette in Castlevania Nocturne. And I'm just like, are we really having this fake outrage over a race change again? Why do people lose their freaking minds whenever there's a black person in a fictional vampire world? From ancient magic and bloodthirsty and vengeful and murderous immortals, plus the mostly historically inaccurate, overdramatic medieval backgrounds. And then there's this whole plan for a human genocide, and all of that is totally fine in the plot. But if a side character turns black, then all of a sudden everyone has to fact check it because it's not realistic. Are y'all really so upset that your inconsequential damsel in distress got turned into a beautiful black girl swashbuckler? But oh no, it's woke! The blackies and the queers, they're taking over everything. These damn feminists are destroying the purity of womanhood. And we do it again. This amazing animated series of Castlevania has managed to bring back into relevance this iconic and seemingly long-lost video game franchise, and turn it into a Netflix masterpiece that crosses the borders of brilliance in Western animation. And it's even entered the ranks of strictly anime viewers. And it's a damn shame that they have to go through this backlash more than once for actually committing to trying to have a more diverse cast in their original adaptation. I cannot emphasize this enough that this is fiction. This is a whole damn spin-off. There has already been way greater creative liberties in changing these characters' designs, including their plots and personalities and relationships and their very lineages, that we pretty much already have a whole new cast aside from the name Dracula himself. But what's got people really riled up is a race change? Seems like your prejudice is showing. And they can try to hide under the sentiment of race not being the problem. It's about changing the original source that bothers me, or claiming that Annette is a key character in the game. But the real question is, have any of these people actually played the Castlevania games, or even watched a damn playthrough? Even the video game purists can admit that there's pretty much about 30 minutes of actual story in this game, and the writing is serviceable at best while we're dashing through these dungeons. All of the vibes and the gameplay do a lot of the heavy lifting, so you don't really realize that the plots and the characterizations are actually paper thin. And these critics who talk like they want this faithful adaptation act like there wasn't only about 90 seconds of fucking cutscenes. It becomes pretty obvious that you have to change pretty much everything but the broadest strokes of the plot in order for an adaptation of Castlevania to really work. And the same shit happened with the character Isaac, and he turned out to be arguably better than the one-dimensional glam rock guitar hero character in the original game. Even the other characters' interactions with Isaac gave more depth to his character and his story, and it's because he has these origins and backstories as an outsider to the world of Castlevania. And Dracula himself didn't see Isaac for his skin color, but saw him as a man with the potential to take control over his own life with the power he's been given. And the haters are frontin' because y'all ate up the first seasons of Castlevania when they switched up Isaac's character. So much for swapping the source material not being cool. But even I can admit, as someone who champions original and diverse characterizations in animation, I also would rather see original characters added to a show than the laziness of a race swap. Or better yet, to finally see an original black author's work get adapted with this level of budget. But real talk, most people are full of shit when they act like Annette's original character was betrayed. And I'm pretty sure those who are the loudest don't even know who Annette's character was before they saw her in the trailer. And even if they do recognize her character, she's so forgettable in the story. She appears for like 2 minutes in the game, and her only occupation is literally being the love interest damsel in distress. And it just shows that they're really upset because Annette became black. And what proves all this nonsense about faithfulness even more so is the fact that Outrage, who was also shown to be a part of this series, was also race swapped into a Native American. But there is none of this vitriol in Twitter Spaces pages or comment sections, even though he is way more prominent in the original game series than Annette. And not only that, I can even go further. When has Annette's design ever been coherent? All it takes is a wiki search to find out that before she was a blonde-haired damsel, she was a purple-haired waifu before, looking like she just came out of an IMVU avatar creator. This straight up tells me that it was never about respecting the original material for most people. So yes, go complain about something that matters, and if you don't like it, don't watch it. But really, all viewers need to reconsider the whole idea that characters become better or worse because of their skin color being changed. It all ends up coming off as being prejudiced, if not straight up racist, and it all also comes off as incredibly superficial. And it's even worse when we end up with trashy pandering and otherwise embarrassing excuses for diversity. These naysayers act like this is some historical European classic literature, when really it was made by some Japanese dude who was a nerd just like the rest of us. So all the snowflakes can calm down, because if you scroll down far enough, they say what they really mean in way fewer words. The real concern isn't that characters should be faithful to the original fiction or to a realistic setting, but that they shouldn't be black. And it's for whatever made up reason. Maybe it's because Annette's pasty, pale-ass design was more delicate and romanticized, or it's because of some specific heritage in her family, even though there are thousands of ways to cross bloodlines between parents and siblings and marriages and adoptions over the hundreds of years that have passed from the original story. Or maybe it's because the messy history of literal and factual slavery and colonization complicates this vampire story a little bit too much with its politics. Even though it's set in the French Revolution and in one of the most diverse and liberal time periods of the century. I mean, we have the whole Haitian Revolution about to go down. But some people just don't like it because it's woke. And they don't like being called racist because they don't like black people and their nostalgia porn. But anyway, when I saw this trailer and the juicy fan edits that came out quick, I knew that I was incredibly hyped and obsessed and in love with Annette's new character design, and all of the sexy black lady vamps that we get to mingle with in this season. And I honestly didn't give a single fuck about the inevitable bigotry. And it's a total plus that because of this thoughtful plotline that's set during the French Revolution, it's very likely that Annette is also Haitian. Let me just say that I absolutely love the way that Castlevania Nocturne incorporated Annette's Haitian background into her entire character development and the plotline too, and it was the most riveting representation of the Haitian Revolution that I have ever seen in animation. And it's one of the rare times that you actually get to see these periods of history represented from the perspective of those who were enslaved in the first place, along with the importance of all of the culture and the magic that gave them the power to fight back. But they make it a point that the slaves rose up, burned all their plantations, and killed all the bastard slave owners, and that's fucking history. But the black girls are especially winning because Annette is going to be booed up with Richter. And I live for the day when black female characters get real development besides their skin color, and she actually gets to have romance and not only be these mean-faced warrior fighters. But don't play, they still made sure that our girl can fight and that she represents as a vampire hunter. But I love that this show is being consistent, and Castlevania is no stranger to inclusion, whether that's in interracial or interspecies relationships, different genders or sexualities, and so many other identities. Shit, out of spite, I hope they make all of your faves black and gay. And those bigoted assholes are gonna miss out on another amazing season of Castlevania. It's still disappointing that the creators have to fight back against their own fan base, but I love how they're spicing up the brilliantly written blood, sex, magic world of vampires in the Castlevania timeline. You can leave your hot takes and bitter complaints down in the comments. Either way, it helps my engagement. And if you really care about iconic animation and deep storytelling, then go check out my playlist of reviews and recommendations, and like and subscribe to join the punk family. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.
Bitch, start tripping, now I'm blue. Nigga, man, I can't wait for losing 'cause I got too many haters, man.